Hello, and welcome to Anime Dumpster Dive, where we go in-depth on an anime that's been considered trash by pretty much anybody. I am your host and magical girl, Jake H. I am joined by my co-host and witch, DJ.
Yeah, I ain't a witch.
And
Bullshit!
And my other co-host and incubator, Anthony.
That's right.
But I'm the prettiest little witch. I'm the prettiest witch. I mean, I'm the prettiest magical girl. That's me.
You said witch a couple times.
Damn it! Well, in this world, girls
You call a
Don't
younger
like
girl.
boys.
age
Like
woman a
Girls
girl.
can't like girls. Girls can't like girls.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, girls can't like girls. Ooh, when was this show released? Jake, tell us all about it.
2011. But before I really get into it, guys, clearly we've been watching Magical Girl Ore, and this podcast we're focusing on a different Magical Girl show. Some people might have guessed it by now, especially if they saw the thumbnail. But what is your guys' history with Magical Girl shows? Like, have you guys watched any other ones?
Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon is a magical girl.
When I was like 11.
Sailor Mercury, best girl.
Yeah, I didn't really watch any Sailor Moon, to be honest. If I'm being 100% honest, I've never seen the show. I know nothing about magical girls. I guess Strike Witches is kind of a magical girl show, so I like Strike Witches quite a bit.
All you need to know is she's the one called Sailor Moon.
Fighting evil by midnight. Daylight. Fighting evil by moonlight. Yeah, Matt, I would definitely say Strike Witches is a magical girl show. Not a lot of transformation, but there's definitely a transformation. They get they become like pseudo furries, and then attach jets to their legs. Strike Witches was a weird show.
Don't forget guns. Don't forget guns. I loved it. It was a very underrated show. Jake, let's watch Strike Witches.
That's true. I don't think DJ's watched it. All right, so the anime that we will be talking about this podcast is Puella Magi Madoka Magica. And I know right now you're thinking, but hey, this is Anime Dumpster Dive. Aren't you guys supposed to add shows? Well, we decided that after watching so much trash that we'd like to give ourselves a little relief and watch a show that's considered good. That way we can see if there is kind of like a opposite of a hate train and kind of have like a hype train to it.
Little release, you know what I mean?
So this is Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Madoka Kaname is your average middle school girl until one day when her class gets a new student named Hamura Akemi. That day, Madoka and her best friend Sayaka Miki are thrown into the world of magical girls. Is it everything that they could wish for? Or is there more to the world of magical girls than it appears? Let's dive on into Puella Magi Madoka Magica. So this aired in winter of 2011. It's an anime original. There is no source material. Ooh. It is written by Yorobuchi, who also wrote Psycho-Pass and Fate Zero.
Oh, shit.
It is created by Studio Shaft, who also worked on the Monogatari series and the Niso Koi series. One of those is, the Monogatari series, and the other one is like some weird, mysterious love harem thing. So, this studio has range. So, before we go into spoilers, we like to give our first impressions and like to talk about some of the characters. So I'll go ahead and I'll start us off because this is my second time really watching the show, and talking about my first impressions. For me, a big thing that stands out and is why I had a really hard time getting into it originally is the character design is so basic, but the background design is elaborately cool, elaborate. It throws me off. It's really jarring for me. But then it really, talking about the art style, it really helps, I almost not exaggerate, but I guess exaggerates the labyrinths that they go into, and those are just even more trippy. So the art style And man, those first couple episodes are some of the stuff that kind of took me out of the show originally.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I'd say that following the theme of one of our shitty animes that we have watched, in Handshakers, I almost felt similar when I was, watching the first couple of episodes. And, it is quite jarring, at first. However, I think that as the show progresses, that's something that I really came to enjoy it quite a bit. I like the simplistic view of the characters before they transform, and then after they transform, I like the bright colors. I like how well it goes with the labyrinths that they're in. I think that it's elaborate, and I also think that it's very capturing. It really just makes your eyeballs pin right to the screen. So it's as far as the art style goes, I'm happy with it.
And Handshakers, the extra art, the weird art, made my brain bleed out of my ears, and it hurt my head. The extra art in this is cool and fun, and looks like a child drew it, but it also makes me feel like I'm on an acid trip, which I think is the point.
Yeah.
So that's good. And my ear doesn't melt through my...
Your brain
doesn't melt through my ear.
My brain don't melt. My brain don't melt so good.
I'm glad you guys brought up Handshakers, because that's a very good, similar concept. One done great and one done poorly, of that going into a different world and kind of just having that weird art style.
And they're all like...
Yeah, there's no shitty jazz music in the background either.
Let's talk about the music, the soundtrack for this anime. I love how every character has their own theme, and when they're and I just love how it just plays almost on point every time.
I agree.
It's like, wah.
I agree.
It's
creepy
really
when it needs
good.
to be creepy. I think it adds to all of the thematic elements that you're watching on screen, and I think that the music adds just that much more dimension to the show. It's an emotional roller coaster.
You're like, ooh, there's the theme song.
How about the opening, man?
I didn't like it at first. It grew on me.
OP.
Jesus.
Sorry.
OP.
Jesus, guys. Is that what we're calling them now?
Well, they're called in text. They're called the OP and the ED.
Yeah.
But the open, guys. How about those shit?
Fine. Open.
Yeah,
Jake tries something new. DJ ridicules something.
The obtuse penis and the erectile dysfunction. That's what we're talking about today. Welcome to the Dude Soup Podcast.
It's not what it's called.
So, what'd you guys think of the opening?
I thought it was. I thought the opening was pretty good.
I hate you.
It grew on me.
I like the opening, and I feel as the show progresses, you watch that opening and you're like, you cheeky fuck.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it grew on me. It grew on me. I didn't have an appreciation for it until probably later into the episodes.
There's some cute Easter egg. Oh my god, I can't talk. Easter eggs in that opening. There's one. We'll talk about the ending song when we go into spoilers, because that one throws you a curveball too.
Which one are we talking about?
I'm talking about how after the third episode it changes.
Oh yeah,
I know, it goes from being this like and then it's like oh no.
Yeah, then it really gets you. It really gets you. I remember when you first told me to watch this show. You said, Anthony, with your style and the way that you like, killing characters, I think that you would like this show. If you watch all the way up to episode 3, you're hooked. And I was like, I don't think so. And in combination with everything that we saw,
yeah, I'm like, episode this. There's so many good episodes in this one. Episode 3, though, if you weren't, episode 3 is the trick.
You weren't hooked.
It's the hook.
If you weren't hooked, oh yeah.
You're like, the first 2 episodes were like the worm, and then you're like, oh no, there's a hook here. Let's.
I thought it was pretty dandy from the very beginning.
Really, you were on board.
Yeah, I was like, this is all right. this is okay. This is okay. I also don't think it was as, I feel like when I read about it, everyone's like, it blew my mind. It was crazy twists and turns. And I'm like, wee.
I'm telling you right now, watching it a second time through, I still loved it for its stuff, but a lot of those twists and turns that people praise are super obvious.
Yeah, I was like, well, that
super
person's
obvious.
fucking doomed.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were doomed.
Well, I mean, following some of the, I don't want to call them tropes, but I mean, when certain characters appear on screen with certain, reprise music going on, it's easy to understand what's going to happen next. It's like, oh, okay. I feel bad now. I'm going to feel worse, I'm sure.
I said earlier that we normally talk about the characters beforehand, but I feel like for us to really appreciate these characters, we definitely have to go into spoiler territory. So,
Rattery.
We'll go ahead and go into spoilers, and we'll just talk to the characters as they appear. Talk about.
Woo!
All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and throw up the spoilers now. If you want to skip them, the time is up there. Okay, so episode 1, guys.
Episode one.
Episode 1 starts with the end.
The most
of
boring
episode
girls
10.
on the planet.
Yeah, it starts with
yeah.
the end of episode 10.
True. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just gives you a little flash forward there.
Gives you a
Very
little-
common. Classic anime.
Yes,
Mhm.
very.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Provides the
Classic
audience
anime
with that
move.
dramatic irony.
God of War 1.
Yeah, God of War 1. Yeah,
That happens in that.
yeah. So you get that. We get Hamura as a magical girl fighting a witch, and Madoka and Kyubey watch from a distance, and then Madoka wakes up, and it's all a dream. And then Anthony's right. We then get introduced to super boring time with Madoka, Sayaka, and their friend Hitomi.
Hitomi, yeah.
Hitomi.
More like who, Tommy?
More like who?
Oh no, I will
Got her.
remember that name. I will remember that
Fucking
name
got her.
for a very long time.
Jesus.
Why? Hitomi? Are you serious? Best girl of all of the shows that we've ever watched?
Oh, isn't that white-haired girl's name? Girlfriend girl? Who's Hitomi?
Hitomi, Killing Bites.
Oh, yeah, white-haired
my
girl's
God.
name.
I'm sitting here. I'm like, fuck.
I'm
What's Anthony
like looking
talking
at
about?
Jake. I'm like, back me up! Back me up,
I'm
Jake!
sitting here. I'm like, tell me. Well, see, Anthony, it's because Hitomi wasn't my best girl.
Oh my gosh!
Arusa was my best girl.
Who's Arusa?
Cheetah.
It's the cheetah.
Oh, just call them by their names. Rattle and Cheetah.
Okay,
Ready?
but boring girl anime goes on for about 5 minutes, and that's just about it.
And then we get introduced to we get Hamura, like the girl from Madoka's dream, appear in class. Again, anime trope. New kid shows up and kind of throws life into disarray. Yeah. But something's a little amiss here is Hamura seems to know everything about the school already, which I thought.
She's like, how did you know I'm a veterinarian?
Is that what she says? Or is
No,
she
she's,
goes,
how did you know I was the nurse's aide?
I was like, what? Yeah, she goes, how did you know I was the nurse's aide? She goes, the nurse's office is over here, right? She's like, didn't you just transfer to this school?
She's like, shut the fuck up,
It's
okay?
weird that you know.
I got places to be.
She's like, you
Where'd
see
it
any weird fox things? She's like, what? Don't worry about it.
And she takes her to the most deserted part of the school.
DJ, how'd you feel that they took away your
And
classic
they
school
did.
roof and replaced it with extravagant
did.
school roof?
Yeah, it
It was a very,
extravagant.
very extravagant
Crazy.
school roof.
Fun fact.
Almost didn't recognize it as the only roof in Japan.
Fun fact: when Madoka Magica was airing, the school roof wasn't really that extravagant, and then when it got released for Blu-ray, they made it a lot better. And then when the movies came out, because there's two movies that adapt the series, the roof is even more extravagant.
Oh,
Everyone's
gosh.
like, Studio Shaft is pouring all that extra money into just making these fences better.
Probably due to my criticisms about animes having all the same roof.
They're like, you know that guy 7 years from now who's going to complain about anime roofs? Yeah? Well, we don't want him to complain about ours.
I mean, they had to have known. These roofs are all the same. We got to make ours different.
We get Sayaka and Madoka. And then we go back to Boring Girl anime again.
Yeah.
Then Sayaka and Madoka decide to go somewhere after school to buy Sayaka's boyfriend a CD, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so when they go to do that, they end up stumbling into. No, they don't stumble into a labyrinth yet, right? They run into Kyubey first.
Yeah, Madoka hears Kyubey's voice calling for
She's
her.
listening to some music, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Help me!
Help me! Help!
Hey,
H-A-L-P.
ow, help me.
Help!
Me.
Ow! Oh my God! They're real bullets! Help me! Madoka's like, huh?
I couldn't help but think
Takes off her
how
headphones.
different this
That's a
anime.
weird song.
I think it was due to the guy from Magical Girl Ore. But
Oh,
the whole time I was watching this anime, I was thinking about how different it would be depending on how Kubo's voice was.
Madoka!
Yeah.
Be a magical.
And she just walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, save, hey, you,
Make a
hey,
contract
save
with
me."
Make a
Why you
contract.
Save me.
Yeah, he's not cute. He's like, you could make a contract with me.
I'm gonna make you an
it's,
offer you can't refuse.
It'd be totally different.
So Kyubey calls for help, and Madoka finds him in the garage, being attacked by Hamura, the new girl.
Mysterio.
And Hamura, instead of, she's like, why are you doing this? And Hamura, instead of explaining her actions, just goes, let me kill that animal thing.
Yeah.
I kill animals. You can't stop me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got a problem with these animals.
And it's because they're alive. That's my problem.
I'm the Grinch.
And Sayaka shows up with a fire extinguisher to help them escape. And then they run into the witch's lair, right? The witch's labyrinth.
Yeah, then they get stuck in the labyrinth.
Then they get stuck in this trippy labyrinth, and this is where we talked about the art style, the aesthetic really enhancing the experience. And then they get saved by Best Girl and Magical Girl Senpai, Mommy Tomoe.
Mommy! What's up, little mommy?
Oh, mommy. Oh.
She struts in. She
Yeah, she
summons
does.
a bunch of flintlock pistols, kills the witch.
Yeah.
With her awesome.
Yeah, she's got the 1,000 sword technique. Only just with guns. She's got the
dude.
1,000 gun technique.
I am the bone of my gun.
Walks in, she goes, "Good cat, motherfucker."
She's like, man, I really wish I would have just summoned guns that had more than just one shot to them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She was doing this before Reaper from Overwatch was doing it. She was shooting and
Waste
throwing
of
them on the ground.
guns.
I said that too. I was like, oh
A
my
waste of
gosh, she's
guns.
the one that started it all.
So she
Don't
waste
need
of
these guns.
she clears the witch, and then Kyubey gives the Kyubey explains to her Madoka and Sayaka that she's a magical girl, and that Kyubey makes magical girls, and that they should form a contract with him. And that's the first time that you should make a contract with me line happens, and boy, does that become Kyubey's fucking catchphrase.
Immediately, you go, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah. No.
You
You
look
should make a contract with me.
Well, the thing with Kyubey, I've noticed while rewatching, is while it's doing stuff, it's really cute. If it's sleeping, it's cute. It's running around, it's cute. But when it just fucking sits there and it looks at you, it's so unsettling.
They zoom in all the way on just its evil red beady eyes.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
he goes,
creepy.
I'm happy. I'm nice. Make a contract with me. And you go, no,
I
you're not
don't.
nice.
I don't believe you.
No,
I don't
You're not
believe
nice,
you.
guys.
You're gonna eat my dreams.
You go, huh? This doesn't seem right. Looks like that mommy girl made a mistake because that thing's pure evil. That's all.
Yeah.
That's like immediately as soon as you see it.
Yeah. I was like, that maybe girl.
She's like, Kyubey's my friend. And you're like, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I don't think so.
Have you seen his eyes?
No, they're all
friendly eyes.
I don't think
But it makes sense. It makes sense how protective she is. You know, and I didn't realize this until, you know, later on into the episode, you know, into the episodes. But it totally makes sense of how protective Mommy is of Kyubey. Because she's the most naive out of all of them.
Well, yeah, and like that's why she's such a good magical girl to begin with. It's that pure, like the more pure you are in personality, the more of a powerful magical girl.
Mm-hmm.
More magical girl.
We get into the next episode, and that's where Mommy and Kyubey really break down the magical girl lifestyle to Sayaka and Madoka in Mommy's apartment.
Yeah, she's like I'm 16. I live in this sweet apartment.
She's like,
I'm a magical girl.
Awesome apartment.
And you're like, this doesn't seem right.
She's just like, huh?
Where are my parents? Where are your parents? That's what I say.
One part I kind of do like that. I hate Kyubey with a fucking passion. But what I do like is in these early episodes, Kyubey really plays up that I'm a magical girl mascot like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah.
He's like, oh, let's do this. There's
hopping around like, yeah, laying on everybody all cute like. The telepathy that starts off that's where the girl says, "Girls can't love girls."
Yes, where Hitomi reveals she's a bigot.
That's why I asked. 2011 was a different time apparently.
More like bigot Tomy.
Ooh, got her.
Yeah, so they can hear each other's thoughts, and Madoka says something out loud like we can communicate with our thoughts, and Hitomi's like, oh, for two girls to communicate with their thoughts and be that close over one night.
Like you did that? You did all that after spending one night together? What happened last night? Girls can't love girls.
Girls can't love girls. He runs away crying. I think it was more Hitomi was bummed out that they left her out.
Well, like, hey, Trumponi.
Trump. DJ slinging out the topics no one wants to talk about.
Didn't know it was a political podcast, did you, Jake?
I didn't. The continuing on, these two episodes really have that lighthearted tone, like the first two episodes, especially when Mommy is taking them on like the magical girl expeditions, where like she's like, "Here, let me turn your bat into this magical bat," and then they're like, "Yeah," and they're having like fun in there and shit, and Mommy's just like, "Let me finish this off," and it's playing her really happy music, and she's yelling out her attack names like "Grand Finale."
Yeah.
Oh, so let's talk about the ending for these. The first two episodes, the ending song is like a really happy song, and the visuals are like the girls hanging out. And they're just like, yeah, look at us. This is what this show's about.
Like that type.
Yeah, and like even the opening is very classic magical girl type thing. Like there's a little montage of Madoka like coming up with magical girl costumes in the opening, and like them hanging out with stuff. If you base this entire show off the opening, you're like, all right, this is about a magical girl team and their friend Hitomi, who will play a very big part of the series, and
their driver Hitomi.
And the driver Hitomi. All right, and so then we get into the third episode, and we get the introduction to Sayaka's boyfriend, Kyosuke.
Yeah, Yo-Yo Ma.
Yeah, fuck it. I was gonna make that fucking joke. I was gonna say it's like freaking Kyosuke is if Makoto from School Days and Yo-Yo Ma were the same person.
What? He's not a prick.
He's a prick.
He absolutely is a prick.
Okay, not her boyfriend though. She's friend zoned hard.
I got my hands back. Hey, Tommy, you want to go on a date with me?
Hey, Tommy, my hands are fixed. You want to get a little finger action?
You wanna pretend to be this violin?
She's definitely never dating him though. She's friend zoned hard.
It's that's implied. You don't visit a kid in the hospital every day just because it's your best friend. I wouldn't visit you every day.
DJ just got really hurt.
What if I was a girl, huh?
He's like, what if I was a sexy lady who played the violin, Anthony, huh?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Jake can break my heart. No, thank you.
Only after Jake says that he's in love with me and tells you to go after me first if you don't want to lose me.
We're jumping way ahead.
Yeah.
But so we get introduced to Kyosuke and his weird ass CD player.
Yeah, what is that?
Can we talk about the technology in this world? Like it's like super advanced, right?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Like the whiteboards down to the pictures that they have in their house.
It's just it's a step above.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, back in 2011, people were like, "Look at all this space stuff. What is this? Holographic keyboard? No, thank you, sir. I'd rather touch my keyboard like Americans."
America.
You can tell here in this episode that Kyobe is starting to like later down the road you find out Kyobe's species don't have emotions, but I feel like this is kind of like Kyobe being impatient. Like he's constantly pressuring for them to make a contract with him.
Like, I want you to hurry up, but
it could be about anything. Anything.
Just make a wish. Any wish. You could wish for a hamburger. I'll give you one.
You want a hamburger?
Tomatoes, ketchup. I could do it all.
Well, what I like here too is like there's no even question, questioning it. Mommy does not know the true thing behind the magical girls. Mm-hmm. Like you can tell that she's truly like, oh, magical girls are warriors of justice.
Yeah,
and it gets lonely doing this by myself.
Emo-tacular, she's like,
yeah,
hey, you know nothing, leave me alone. And she's like, I know everything. Oh, I'm a veteran. Look at my flintlock pistols.
That's true. That's true.
And then black-haired bitch pulls out 9mm, and she's like, your guns only have one round. You stupid bitch.
That Hamura and Mommy fucking build up each other to the point where you think like they're gonna come to head.
Yeah,
because she's like, don't fucking make me fight you, and Hamura's like, I'm fucking here, bitch.
Fucking fight me.
Say it with your chest, bitch.
And then so when Sayaka goes to visit her boyfriend or Kyosuke in the hospital, they find a grief seed, which is what the witches release when they die and purifies the magical girl soul gems.
So I put on my toast.
Put on your toast. So they find the grief seed there, and so this again where like the Kyubey play early on in these episodes is you're still on the fence about this character. I mean, you're like you're unsettling as fuck, but you're doing things that are okay. Like
kind of good. Yeah.
Because he goes, I'll stay with Sayaka. You go that way. Mommy can find me via telepathy, and you guys can save us. And you're like, "That's."
I went. You
that's
should.
Actually pretty smart.
Leave her with him.
That's actually pretty smart. Leave her with him. Probably a bad idea to leave the little doggy thing with them.
Yeah, I was like, that's a clearly evil dog. Don't leave her with him.
Because that's like you realize really Kyubey did that. He's like, well, now I'm alone with Sayaka, so I can pressure her into getting a wish.
Exactly. That's what I thought he was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode really builds you up because Madoka comes to a decision, and she goes, you know what, I'm going to be a magical girl, like not because I really want something from a wish, but because I want to help people, and magical girls are helping people, and that's really cool. And Mommy's super excited. She's like, I have a partner now.
I'm not alone anymore.
She's never been special.
Oh yeah,
and she's like, if I was a magical girl, I'll be special finally. And then Mommy's like, you and me are gonna be together forever. I love you so much, and I'll always protect you. I'll always be around forever and ever to be your partner for the rest of history.
Like,
and I will protect you and teach you and be your only guardian. And I'm like, this bitch is going to die. She's fucked.
This is what I was talking about.
Mommy's guns turn into death flags.
Yep. This is what I was talking about. The freaking music starts playing that epic reprise, and you're like, oh, this bitch is about to die.
It's... we get...
Her walk from when Madoka finds her to the labyrinth, that whole walk is just death flags. It's just
absolutely. Hamura shows up, and Hamura even warns. She's like, "That witch is not what you think it is." Witch.
Yep.
Again, talking about the you can tell this is an anime that had episode 1 planned all the way to episode 12.
Right.
There was no this is what we're doing each episode, because it is heavily hinted because Hamura is like, that witch is different. That witch is different than what you think that witch is going to be. And you're like, oh, it's because that witch is more powerful. And it's because Hamura's like, no, that's the fucking witch that kills you.
Yeah. And then Mommy's like, fuck you.
Fuck you,
bitch.
I can do it. I can do it.
Shut
up.
To mess with me.
Also, as far as the twists go, I'm pretty sure by now I knew what the deal with Hamura was, too.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure by now I knew. Yeah. It was very early. I was like, she knows... Because just from the very first episode, she knows so much shit. You're like, nah, I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Plus, we've been watching so many fucking animes where that happens that it's just easy now.
Just easy now.
First anime I watched, Re:Zero, I was like, I found out a little bit early, and I went, and we all were watching it together. I looked at Jake, and I was like, blah, 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 and he was like, yeah, and I was like, oh, shit. This one, it was episode 2. I was like, man, that bitch is just like all the other guys in animes. But yeah.
So Mommy gets into a fight with the witch, and she thinks she kills it, and then the witch reveals its true form, because it was a giant snake hiding.
Jack in the box.
Yeah, it was like a Jack in the Box. It was like, no, I was only hiding in the weird doll thing.
I'm actually a snake.
I'm a snake, and bites off her fucking head.
Yep.
And then eats her body. And I go,
and shit got real.
Oh shit.
Shit got real.
This isn't happy. This isn't Magical Girl Ore.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
yeah, right,
whoa.
Right.
I was like, whoa, fuck. Those girls saw that. Oh shit. I was like, well, I mean, Mommy basically had it coming. She challenged the universe and it fucking answered. Just like that one guy in fucking the fucking Sword Art Online.
Klein.
Every time he's like, you're my best friend. Next time I see you, we're gonna be adventurers together. You keep yourself safe out there, buddy. I'll see you next time. I'm the nicest guy in this whole anime. And he leaves, and you're like, that guy's gonna die. He's gonna find his dead body somewhere. He's dead. That dude lives the whole way through. You're like, are you kidding me? Every time he's on screen, he's like, you and me, we're gonna make it out of here. You and me. You're like, oh, fuck.
Oh no. So Hamura shows up, and this is like when Hamura's fighting the witch that kills Mommy. That's really when I feel like her powers are heavily hinted at for the first time, because she's just standing there, and the thing would bite her, and then she's over there, and then it'd be like, what the fuck, and then all of a sudden explosions, and then she kills it. She kills that witch fucking no problem.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I was like, should have listened to her.
Should
have listened to Tolly McBlackhair.
That a part I really like, and it's kind of sad. It's dark. Is when Hamura picks the grief seed, and Sayaka goes, "That doesn't belong to you. That belongs to Mommy."
Freaks the fuck out. She's like, "It was hers. It was hers."
And Hamura fucking just looks at her and just goes, "You're right.
You're not a magical girl.
Yeah, but you're not a magical girl, and only magical girls can have these." And so she just walks away, and you're like, Hamura's cold-blooded.
They should have put well, you snooze, you lose. And she just walks away.
Just says different things. Later, skater.
Mommy would have been able to get this seed if she had a better head on her shoulders.
Ooh. She should have kept her head in the game.
Because her head got eaten, Anthony. That's why.
Yeah, so the series then takes a drastic like tone shift from being that happy and like everything's kind of just all the colors are a bit dull. Everything's just a little sadder. Like I feel like you don't hear that like that really happy theme song that was Mommy's like theme song until like she shows up again in like episode 10's like flashbacks.
So 11? Is that 11? That's 11.
10. That's 10.
Is it 10?
Yes.
Okay.
Like you really don't hear that stuff again until like that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like you hear like some other characters like theme songs, but none of them are really as like bright.
Yeah. Yep.
And Kyubey then fucking pulls like the fucking part of the dentist system there. Like, because then afterwards they're all sad, and she goes, "All right, well, I'm out." And you're like, Kyubey, where are you going?
Kyubey's like, well, if you guys are going to make a wish, I'm going to go find other people that are going to want to make a wish. So, goodbye.
Like the magical girl.
It's taking too long.
Like,
yep.
Is dead.
I told you. Gone. You can wish for anything. Hamburger. Pound of spaghetti.
Gotta get a big cake
in the world.
Gotta
2
big
hot
cake.
dogs. 3, 4 hot dogs.
And then we get some of our first real Hamura and Madoka interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And Madoka, like Hamura reveals like more, like Hamura really shows that darker side to this whole like magical girl shtick. And she's like, well, like that's what happens. You're gonna die, and then no one's gonna care because no one's gonna realize you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what happens to magical girls. And then Madoka, who's too pure, like seriously, like one of the purest characters like in any show I've ever watched. She's just like, I'll remember you, and you're like, oh, you're doing the thing that annoys me, but you're not annoying me. Like, because that annoys me with other characters. Like when other characters are like trying to be wholesome, but I guess since Madoka is wholesome, like there's never a point where Madoka's not. So for me, it's like, oh, that's just Madoka's character, instead of being like, oh, here goes Madoka with the wholesomeness.
Yeah,
I was thinking like,
intensely pure.
Get her, Madoka. Win her over. Bring her over to our side. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Like that, you're seriously cheering for that friendship, is like that power of friendship thing. Like, because that's what Madoka wants, and you're rooting that for Madoka.
I was like, come on, Madoka, you need her around, otherwise this little monster thing's gonna convince you to make a wish. It almost convinced you to make a wish for a cake earlier. Are you kidding me, Madoka?
I know.
I need this chick
wish
around.
for a big cake.
That was Mommy's fucking plan. She's like, well, if you can't think of anything, we'll wish for a cake. And Madoka's like, a cake? Okay.
A big cake? Okay. I fucking love cake.
I'm on board. Let's do it. Magical girl team. Woo. So Sayaka visits Kyosuke, and Sayaka early on has been asking pretty much if she can make her wish for somebody else. Like, can she grant someone else's wish with her wish? And it's pretty obvious that she wants to cure Kyosuke's illness of whatever it is that doesn't get his fingers to work.
I don't know why she just didn't let him go into the mountains and train with the Ancient One.
He was like, I was in the mountains trying to learn how to cook.
These are my tools.
He comes back. He's the Sorcerer Supreme. Now who fights the witches? That guy.
What fucking anime did we watch where all the cooking... It was Handshakers.
That was Handshakers.
That was Handshakers.
It was the classic Handshake.
Fucking Handshakers. Yeah, so that's Sayaka's plot right now. But Madoka runs into Hitomi, who's tripping balls. Hitomi's like, oh, we're going places.
She's all...
I'm just gonna walk.
She got the creepy face. She got the creepy face going.
I'm gonna walk somewhere amazing. It's the best thing.
Great.
And Madoka sees that she's been marked by a witch. And so Madoka goes to follow her because she wants to keep her safe, and she follows her into like a abandoned warehouse where there's a bunch of people who are all having like this cult-like behavior, and then they're gathering around to make mustard gas, right?
I think they were going to immolate themselves. I think because that was a can of gasoline.
She said, it had that flash with Madoka and her mom, and she goes, "These are two very similar chemicals. Never mix them, or everyone will die."
It was. Who knows?
You were going to say the things.
I know.
I'm like, don't tell people how to make mustard gas.
Daddy DJ knows.
Well,
What two chemicals does your mom tell you not to mix? They're both
I'm not
for
going to
cleaning
say
floors, guys.
Please cut this portion of the podcast out.
Never make mustard gas is probably where I'm going to cut.
Never make mustard gas. Just a PSA for everybody out there, you know.
It actually makes chlorine gas when you mix bleach and ammonia, but you know.
Whatever. Don't make super deadly gas.
I know that because I know from being a kid I couldn't mix bleach and ammonia, and I know that from Chuck Palahniuk's book Survivor that you can't use bleach to clean blood off of the floor because it'll cut pores in the floor and you'll never get blood out of the floor again.
So
instead you need to use ammonia, but don't use the ammonia after you use the bleach because then you'll die.
Exactly. So Madoka grabs their bucket and like throws it out the window. and they're like, "What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to commit mass group suicide now?" They go to like attack her, and Madoka locks herself in the closet, and it turns into a witch's labyrinth. And again, these witches labyrinths, like they're not like they have similar art styles, but they're not all the same.
Mm-hmm.
This one I thought was really cool because it kind of takes Madoka and she's like in a different art style, and she's going on a super big acid trip. She's being like torn apart and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sayaka shows up and saves her because Sayaka is now a magical girl.
She's pale cool. She's like shooting swords and shit.
I really like Sayaka's magical girl outfit. Like, I feel like it's made by matching the reason Sayaka's beliefs of being a magical girl really match her outfit. She's like, we're heroes and we're like knights and heroes, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's really like that. Her outfit shows that. I feel like
she saves the day.
She saves the day. She saves
her and Hitomi. She saves them both, right?
Yeah, she saves. Mm-hmm. She saves everybody because she kills the witch.
You burn the witch.
She kills the witch, and then we get an introduction to Kyoko Sakura.
Kyoko.
And that's where
Kyoko.
We again, like, where Kyobei has that, don't trust the dog thing.
She goes, "Yeah, I'm the angry redhead of the anime," and then it cuts away.
She's like,
she's
like, well, she's like, this is my territory now. What I like about this is, like, world building. Is Kyoko brings up, she's like, well, if Mommy Tomoe is not here anymore, she's like, this is some prime hunting area, and you're like, oh, so it's like there's this magical girl communication network where it's like, oh, okay, so
the internet.
Yeah, they have forums.
Also known as the Magical Girl Communication Network. The internet. Or witch hunting. Or I'm a magical girl, help me find a witch to kill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to be corrupted, I need a witch to kill quick. That's the whole subreddit.
So we get into the next episode, and before really
that was
quick,
a lot.
I'm curious for you guys, the soul gem reveal.
I didn't call it.
You didn't call it?
I didn't call it, but that was badass.
That was badass. We're still an episode or two away from that, but I felt like...
I didn't see that coming.
You didn't see that coming at all?
I was like, whoa.
How about the soul gem and grief seed connection? Like, did you guys get that?
Well, I saw that from the very beginning when they go... And she fucking sucks it out of the...
Where it pulls from it.
Yeah. Well, it becomes, like, for me, like, when I watched it the first time, didn't even think about it. Probably because I wasn't trying to analyze it. I was just absorbed. But this time around, like, almost immediately, you're kind of like, those grief seed things look a lot like those soul gem things.
Yeah. I know. So then, I mean, it has to be the amount of curses taken in by the magical girl, right? And every time that they kill a witch, that's where they take in the curse of the witch. So the more curses that they take in, that's when they turn into the seed, right?
Well, see, the thing is, when they kill a witch and they get the grief seed absorbs the curses that they're taking in. So essentially, it's just when they become overwhelmed with grief and like curses, that's when they turn into a grief seed. And then Kyubey eats them with its back. Like Hanop.
Yep.
We find out Sayaka's wish was to heal Kyosuke's hands.
Yep.
And there's a part where Sayaka and like his family are all standing on the roof, and they hand him a violin. And I was like, "What if he's just terrible?"
I thought the same exact thing. I thought the same.
It's like his hands shaking too fucking.
Like, well, Sayaka, that's what you get.
She's like, "You wanted me to heal his hands. You didn't say make him good at violin."
His hands work fine. He can no longer play violin.
That's right. He's just terrible at violin. I'm kind of a monkey's paw deal. No, but so he plays like there's that little, and this is kind of like the first like upbeat music since like Mommy's death. It's still not like as upbeat, but it's getting there. Then we have again the Madoka and Hamura scenes start to become more plentiful as it progresses. And this scene, I just like, I don't know why, but I just started like smiling. Is when she's like, Hamura's just, it's like zoomed in on Hamura's face. She goes, "So why'd you want to meet here?" And you're like, "Who's she talking to?" And then it's Madoka, and you're like, "Oh."
It's like, because this is my favorite bakery.
She's like, "'Cause I like cupcakes." She's like, I like this part too, because she's like, Sayaka's brave, this, and this, and this. And then Hamura's like, "Those are fatal flaws." It's like, oh, she's listing off all these great things about Sayaka. And then it's just like, Hamura's just like, no, those are terrible things about a person. Don't list those off. And then we get introduced really to Kyoko, who shows up again towards like the end of this like Kyoko shows up like towards the end of these episodes for her introduction, and she beats the fuck out of Sayaka.
Yeah, she does.
She's
She
like,
kicks the shit out of her.
Whip spear, bitch.
Chain spear.
Chain whip spear, bitch.
Yeah,
something. I don't know. She's
like
good.
Snake. One of those toys, those toy snakes that you grab it and then it goes
like
into pieces.
Multi-sectional type.
Yeah, and then you stretch it and then it's a straight line. Yeah. That, but a spear, bitch.
But a spear. She for me, like this, I thought the choreography was great with like Mommy's fights, but here, like this is like where Kyoko in general choreography really shines, like the fight choreography.
Yeah,
and
I'd say that the animation, just to your point, Jake, I think that the animation in using handshakers, where it's easy to get lost during those fights, I think that they handle a lot of movement on the screen perfectly well.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very fluid, and you're not sitting there going, "What? Where are they now?" And you know where everyone is pretty much the entire time, and they're moving around a lot.
That's one of my only problems with it, is that they did the animation for like Magical Girl versus Magical Girl fighting so good, but they only do it a few times in the anime.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But they animate it so well that you're like, fuck, you need to do this more often.
Mm-hmm.
It, for me, really made me want that Hamura Mommy fight. Because you can only imagine how that would have gone down.
Oh, yeah.
Hamura would have shot her in the face.
She
has more ammunition. She has a 9mm, a far superior firearm. And grenades.
Yeah, and grenades. Kyoko also serves as like a great opposite to like Mommy's ideals, because like that's what I really like here is that's where Sayaka's trying to be like the new mom. It's like, this is my like, oh, I'm adopting her ideals. I'm going to be a magical girl that was just like her. And Kyoko's like, no, you're already wrong, because like your wish isn't for yourself. You're a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
And but something that is cool is that their wishes kind of play into some of the powers they get. So Sayaka's wishes for healing Kyosuke, so her wish is that... So some of her powers include massive regeneration.
She heals fast.
She heals quick.
Which makes you wonder, if Makoto would have wished for that cake, what would her powers have been?
She's just...
Strawberries.
Strawberries. She's just...
Strawberries! The berries in your mouth!
Berries in your mouth!
I just am really sweet. If you lick me, I'm really sweet.
And sometimes I'm just a little sour if you lick me too early.
Yeah. That's me. It's my special power. I'm delicious. The witches want to eat her because she's so delicious.
That's just a negative.
Delicious cake.
Different anime completely. I'm going to call that Hansel and Gretel X.
I'm just now imagining Hansel and Gretel with like a hardcore metal Japanese opening. This is the end. And you're like, oh.
Are you ready? Are you ready, Hansel? Yes, Gretel.
So we get into the next episode, and Madoka has to sit there and watch Sayaka get her ass kicked by Kyoko, and then eventually Sayaka starts to fight back, and later that they're both fighting with like killing intent. But then Hamura shows up, and Hamura, being OP as fuck, ends the fight.
Straight up, just knocks her out.
It's like, what are you doing? Knock it out.
She daddy's up hard.
Go to sleep.
Stop fucking fighting.
Go to sleep, chop.
And Kyobe is being such a dick to Sayaka this episode too, because like early on he's like, well, she's like she's better than me, and he goes, well, yeah. Like, I mean, some people have natural talent. You got some natural talent, but he's like, but you know who's got a lot of natural talent? Madoka. You should tell her to make a contract with me. Do it. He's like,
do it.
He's like, no, I'm not.
But I want to learn to be better. Do it.
You know who's got more natural ability in them that doesn't even have any experience that you're not even as strong as? Madoka.
She's better than you.
Or Madoka, however you pronounce it.
We then cut to Kyoko playing some DDR.
Is she holding the bar?
She's not holding the bar. I thought she was holding the bar, but she's not. She's doing it like fuck. What did Ren say in his video?
An awesome guy.
I don't
Peter.
Know. No. So here's where Hamura reveals to Kyoko that a super powerful witch called something in German, because all the witches
something like that.
Waltergerst.
Peter
Utagatten.
Yeah.
Utagatten. Peterhausen.
Yeah. Peterhausen. Speaking of which.
Yeah. So we find out that Peterhausen way. And so Hamura and Kyoko...
Peterhausen's on his way.
Hamura makes a deal that Kyoko can basically have the territory if she helps her take out this giant witch.
They got Peterhausen.
And so they kind of make that like fragile alliance. And we get kind of Sayaka getting a little more broody and edgelordy.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, I think this is the episode that happens when Hitomi talks to her about hitting up her boyfriend.
She's like, you know your guy who likes string instruments? I just love the way he uses his fingers. I'm in love with him. I'm gonna follow him home today.
How fucked up is it that Kyosuke didn't fucking tell Sayaka that he got out of the hospital?
Right.
She shows up to the hospital. She's like, "Where's Kyosuke?" And they went, "Oh, he fucking left."
They didn't text you. His fingers work now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're like, it's weird because I feel like now, of all times, he should have been able to text you. On a side note, Madoka and her mom, like that's a relationship we haven't really talked about.
Oh yeah,
but Madoka and her mom constantly have conversations that I feel like are well done. Like it's not like that weird, like that's not an actual parent conversation. Like the mom and daughter relationship is nice. compared to like other anime where the parents are either not there or the parents are kind of like that one-dimensional, have fun, like Handshakers. Where it's like, you brought a strange girl here? All right, take a bath with her. We then get we get Kyoko and Sayaka challenging each other 1v1 BK.
Mm-hmm.
Soul Jam.
Yeah.
Soul Jam. They decide they're gonna fight, and Madoka's like, no fighting, and she grabs Sayaka's Soul Gem and throws it onto a truck.
Shucks it off.
Shucks it off. This is what I love: is Madoka, Sayaka, and Kyoko are both like, oh, so she just threw the fucking Soul Gem, and Hamura and Kyobe are like, what the fuck did you do?
They should have been ready for that, because that's Madoka's a special move.
No.
Running into the middle of something, grabbing something from them, and throwing it as far as she can.
She did it to the bucket. I mean...
You're good luck killing yourselves without this! Ah! Good luck fighting without this! Ah!
So, it lands on a truck, and what I don't get is Hamura instantly starts chasing down the truck, but she stops time for a little bit. Every now she said just stop in time right away and running up to the truck that's not moving.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, why not just stop the truck, run all the way up to her, and then grab hold of the gem, run all the way back, continue time.
Yeah.
Because the writers are trying to still convince you of the guys that she has teleportation powers rather than time-stopping powers.
Oh, true. We then get the reveal that their soul gem... Oh, because Sayaka collapses. And fucking they check her pulse, and she's dead. They're like, Sayaka's dead. And Kyuube's a dick about it. Kyuube's like, why would you do that to your friend? Just fucking throw her off a bridge. He's like,
And she's like,
her body's dead! She doesn't have a pulse! And he's like, well, of course she doesn't have a pulse. That's not her. That's her dead body. Her soul's in the soul gem.
like, what?
yeah.
They're fucking zombie magical girls.
Like, imagine how bad it would feel if you were stabbed, though. He's got a good point.
Yeah, that's cruel as fuck later. Holy shit.
Yes. So Kyuubi really, like, reveals right there the whole, like, oh, so magical girls get their souls taken out, put into soul gems. That way they can fight better.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
And then the next episode...
Instead of turning them into bulky men.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's when he goes, Mommy never even knew.
Yeah. He goes,
Yep.
Mommy
And
never knew.
that's where it ties in. Yep.
Like, fucking
Oh,
bitch.
God.
Next episode, motherfucker even starts torturing Sayaka with the thing. He's like, see how bad this would hurt? And he's like stepping on the soul gem.
It's a spear.
It's like, this...
I'm gonna get you with my little foot.
I'm just a little cat dog thing.
Cat fox? I don't know.
He's like, what if I was a spear?
He's Anjumon. He looks just like Anjumon. Whichever Mon. He looks like that one Digimon that looks like that guy.
Are you talking about Gatomon? Like
Looks like a little furret.
Well,
yeah, Gatomon. He looks like Gatomon. Yeah, that makes sense. Catmon.
Yeah. Well, Gatomon turns into Anjumon.
Yeah, there we go. I was on the right track.
After this reveal, Sayaka kind of starts becoming more distant from Madoka, and this is where we kind of get like different friendships developing, and we get like Kyoko and Sayaka start bonding, and Madoka and Hamura start bonding.
Yeah.
I like that Kyoko's background is super dark.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm like, again, going on to
That
when
was
I was
cool.
watching this show, like, this is why Anthony would like this show. You're like, you're like, Kyoko's a bitch. And it's like, oh, this is why Kyoko's a bitch. Because her dad killed her family and then himself.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like he ruined their entire lives? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I liked it.
At that point, you go, you know what? She's got kind of a good reason.
Yeah.
All right. Like, she's like, don't, like, Sayaka throws the apple on the floor and she grabs Sayaka's, like, neck. She's like, don't fucking throw apples. And she's like, I was starving. And you're like, oh, there's a reason. Okay. I mean, like...
She doesn't just not like throwing stuff.
I feel like with some of the shows that we've watched recently, I feel like that would have been a scene in, like, big order. Don't throw apples.
Never addressed
Never
again.
addressed again. And then we'd talk about it on the podcast, being like, that guy didn't like people throwing apples? Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. I would be like, you mean the apple guy?
You mean the apple guy? Then Sayaka continues to get even more corrupted, because she starts to not channel out the pain, but she kind of just like focuses out the pain. Like she's, you know what? If I don't concentrate on it, I don't really feel hurt, and I'm healing, so I'm not incapacitated.
Galamon tells her that.
Yeah, and so
he's like, you could even not feel any pain at all. He's like, but your reaction time will suffer.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, she does it.
Yep, and she
starts. It increases hers. Yeah,
and you can tell that she, like, because she's not dodging like she does in that first witch fight. She's like taking all the hits, and
it's like ripping her up too. Yeah,
and she's going crazy. She's just like, bah! Like smashing the thing. Like Hamura even shows up. She's like, I'll kill this thing. She's like, don't fucking touch me. No, Kyoko shows up. That's who it is. And then Madoka and Kyoko just sit there in like shock as she's like sitting there and like laughing, beating up stuff, and you're like, man, this is, like the childlike artwork of this adds kind of like to the creepiness of like Sayaka losing her mind.
I liked it though. It added another thematic element.
Yes, very much. We get into the next episode, and okay, so when we started originally, Anthony, I want you to guide us through this episode because we're on episode 8, and you said for you this was your favorite episode.
Episode 8. Crap, I forgot.
You're like, this is my favorite episode. What happens in it? I don't know.
Hold on, I'm trying to place it. What happens in episode 8? Oh God.
It's Sayaka's corruption.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what a good part. Okay, she's on a train, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Then the best characters in the whole anime show up. These guys. They're like, fucking bitches, bro. You gotta treat them like they're fucking bitches. My bitch shows up, I tell her to get your bitch ass in the kitchen, start making me dinner. And then, later, I tell her to go up in the room and get her bitch clothes off, because that's how you should treat a bitch, man. The moment you give them some money, man, they just go crazy, bro. You gotta treat her like the bitch that she is. That literally is pretty close to what they say.
Is very close to the actual dialogue. They just start talking, and there's not even like a hint of a respectable human being. Like in this,
it goes on for so long, dude. You're like, this guy's a piece of shit. Like you get the point, and then he's like, yeah, and then like his friend chimes in. He's like, yeah, I totally know, dude. Any bitches I talk to, I let them know first and foremost how they're fucking underneath me. You know what I mean, dude? You gotta bow down to the big dog. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, his friend's a piece of shit too. And then it goes back to the first guy, and he's like, yeah, my bitch, bro. And you're like, okay, these guys are real pieces of shit.
Like, you don't feel bad when Sayaka shows up and she's like, and she fucking, she murders those guys. She kills those guys.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's like, she mini witches and kills those guys.
That's when the corruption really, really solidifies, and then after that, she gets into, it's not another witch fight.
No.
She just lets the corruption, get to her. That's when we really find out, about the seeds taking root, with these magical girl souls. It's badass because we get our cheeky little redhead. She starts off and she's cheeky.
It's more like angsty.
I feel like Sayaka takes the angsty.
Yes.
I would say more like angry because everything she loves is dead. Rather than cheeky. That's not really cheeky to me. Cheeky would be she's like,
definitely not angsty.
That's cheeky.
We'll call her fiery.
There we go.
Okay, all right. Agree to disagree.
So, Kyoko.
Yep, Kyoko. We get her redeeming qualities that she actually, not necessarily, is kind of the stand-up girl, but because she sees the connection that we already kind of talked about between Sayaka and Kyoko happening, she wants to save her.
Yeah.
And that's
like,
badass.
Sorry about the apples. Just calm down.
It's like, don't do this to yourself.
And then she's sitting there, and then she's like, sorry, bitch, I already too far gone.
Oh, well,
It happens.
we have a cool scene before this happens where Kyubey and Madoka are sitting on a bench talking about, again, trying to get Madoka to fucking make a wish. Kyubey's putting a lot of effort into this.
Yeah.
And Kyubey heavily hints at the ending of the anime.
Yeah,
because he goes, like, you're so, like, you have the potential to be, like, super powerful, like a god.
Yeah. Is it at the end of 7 where Kyubey, he explains it, right? It's like, you call adult...
It's the end of this episode.
It's the end of this episode, yeah.
Episode 8.
So, I mean,
hold on,
it's all perfect, because he's sitting on the bench, and then he goes over Madoka being super powerful, and like, the end of the anime, and then...
then he explodes into cheese.
Yeah, then Madoka turns and goes, "You're right. I want to be a magical girl. I wish to be..."
Cheese. He's cheese.
It's like someone runs up to him point blank and is like, go, with a fucking gun.
There's not proof that Hamura didn't do that.
Fucking 12 gauge.
Like, Madoka goes, "You didn't have to kill him!"
Yeah, I did. And Hamura's like, "Are you an idiot? Are you dumb? Yeah. Stop talking to this thing."
She's like, "It's clearly evil. Stop trying to make wishes. I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah.
I'm not just going around fucking lighting up little creatures for no reason, all right?"
Except Hamura doesn't say any of these because Hamura can't control her lesbian feelings. And kind of just collapses. She's just like...
She's like, Madoka! Come back!
She's like, Madoka! Madoka's like, "I gotta go, bye." And then we get the thing, and then
we get the scene.
Then we get Sayaka
breaking down finally,
and turns into her witch form, and we get Kyubey's line.
Yep.
What's his line again, Anthony?
Which right at the end he says,
"What is it?
We call women of this world, or adolescent women at a young age, girls, and it's only fitting that a magical girl should become a great and powerful witch." You're like, boom!
That, I did not even think about that.
I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming.
The souls being in the soul gems threw me off, and then it was a fucking 1-2 punch of me going, what?
Oh, no. It's a woman... An adolescent woman is called a girl, and it's only fitting that a young witch should be called a magical girl. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's something that's clever.
Yeah. You sit there and you go, motherfucker, they turn into witches.
Yep. Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
I don't know if it was like mind-blowing.
It was
more like the evil guy. It turns out he's fucking evil. Yeah. Like, I was like, okay, all right. Fucking clearly.
Suspicion confirmed. Yeah.
He's like, look at me. I've been evil the whole time. I was like, well, I knew that. And then he's like, and the girls turn into wishes. I was like, oh, well, that's new. That was my reaction.
It's like the Pro ZD video where he's like, it's like when you know that guy's evil, and it's like, oh, and you're like, well, that guy's evil.
It has been me the whole time. Yeah.
We know. What was it? So, next episode, and this is where Kyubey really dumps some knowledge on us. Mm-hmm. And so Kyubey's race is trying to like save the universe's energy because like energy is.
This was some shit. That was like, what the fuck?
You want to go through it?
That was the shit where I went, what the fuck? Aight. So this little fucking cat. Him and a bunch of little ass cats were flying around space. They're going, everything we've ever found goes through entropy. He's like, we burn fuel, it turns into gas. We got less gas because we burned it. Everything runs out. Whenever you use something, you have less of it left over. You burn a piece of log, the ashes and the smoke you made are less energy than the log was. Entropy, right? Law of entropy. These cats flying around space, looking around for shit, right? They find the human race. They're like, look at these little girls, right? Their emotions are crazy, and we could use them as energy. And they're like, how are we going to do it, dude? Little cat guy, how are we going to do it, right? How are we going to use these bitches' emotions as energy? And I go, we'll grant them wishes. Duh. and we'll turn them into magical girls and trap their souls in rocks, and then they'll suffer and die and turn into witches for more magical girls to kill. It's a great strategy. And then they were like, let's do it, man. And then they started doing it. And then Madoka, turns out, if they can just get her to make that wish, they'll have all the energy they ever need. That's why he's so gung-ho on getting Madoka to make her wish. And that's the story so far.
It's a very, like, it's one of those ones where I was actually curious on how you specifically, Gio, would take this, because you said normally towards the end of anime, a lot of anime kind of like shit the bed with like crazy ideas,
big time.
Mm-hmm.
But with this one, like this reveal here, how did, like, for you, did it enhance like the show?
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
Oftentimes they go batshit with stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
They're like, oh, then this guy was. This one, it was like, it wasn't too crazy. It wasn't too crazy. It didn't have many holes. It was quite simple, which is good. If you go too complex with stuff, sometimes you make too many like logical leaps, too many storyline leaps. It's gonna ruin it and make it kind of shit to bed. But this one was just like, we're just these people. We need energy. We figured out a way to do it.
Yeah,
that's it.
To your point, Jake, too. You know, like I felt throughout the entire storyline like this was planned. 1 to 12, this whole series was planned. It was all storyboarded out. I didn't feel like they just came up with this theory by episode 9. That was just like, oh, we need to add this. We need to add this because it's going to add another dimension to the entire show. No, I felt like this was planned throughout the entirety of the show. Felt like it was all storyboarded out. It didn't feel like there were, as DJ said, any plot holes. It didn't feel empty or rushed in any way, shape, or form.
Very well said. Very well said. Like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. Like that is, it's so, DJ added too. It's so simple, and like you said, as it's planned from the very beginning. It's shocking because you're like, oh my god, this is why, but it's not shocking like, oh, that came out of nowhere and makes no sense.
Yeah, you only have to suspend disbelief a little bit, right?
Okay.
You're like, okay, he's an alien. I can take that. And they need energy. All right, that makes sense. I don't have to suspend disbelief for that. That makes sense. And you're like, this is how they're getting the energy. That's a little weird, but sure. Sometimes the ending of anime is it's like, okay, there's this guy. And you're like, okay. And they're like, and he did this and this. And you're like, all right. And you're like, and then because he did this and this, this and this and this happened. And you're like, but why did it happen? How is that related at all? And then you're like, and then his son, and you're like, okay, is the main character.
It's a big order.
Dad.
Yeah. It's the main character. Yeah. Whoa.
And you're like, okay.
And he bangs his sister. Wow.
And he wants to bang the sister because she's the key to the universe. And you're like, why is she the key to the universe?
And that's how they wrote Big Order, folks.
She opens the portal. You're like, what portal? The portal that makes all the animals, the powers. The portal that gives them the powers. You're like, okay, this is too much. You're throwing a lot at me here. You're throwing a lot at me here.
But he's best friends with the guy who wrote Demon King Daimao, and he's like, oh, yeah. And then they kill God.
You're like, go back to why he wants to bang his daughter, please. I'm not following.
I'm so confuzzled.
Does the dad have powers? I don't know. You're like, what? Compared to that type of ending, yes, this one was very good.
Yes.
So
that's not even the ending. This is the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it's really where the final arc starts to come in. We get Kyoko and Madoka come up with a plan to try and like power a friendship Sayaka out of it. What I like, Kyoko asks Kyubey straight up, "Will this work?" And Kyubey goes, "Well, I mean, I don't know, but it's never happened before, so." Like, that's what I like, too. I fucking hate Kyubey. But there's parts where you're like, you fit into your plot line so well. Like,
after he comes out with the whole plan, he's like all in with him. Like, he's like, I don't know.
He becomes less of like this trying to convince you type thing to just being like a scientist that got found out that he tried to betray everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like lugging him around with them. It's like, what will this work? And he's like, I'm not sure. I just want to use you all for energy. Like,
It's like literally it has never happened. We've been doing this for thousands of years. Never happened. But I mean, go for it.
Hey, Madoka, do you want to make a wish yet? No? Okay.
How about that cake?
Episode 9, checking in. Just wanted to ask you again. Make sure you're still on the fence. Okay, let's move forward.
Okay, no one do anything that's going to make her question this stuff. And Kyoko goes, I got this. I'm a suicide bomb myself.
Yeah. I know.
I told you that. Come on.
Come on. Damn it. Come on.
Kyoko's like, see this spear? This spear's actually a bomb.
For me, that's the weirdest part of the series. She summons like a giant spear, and you're like, they're going to have like some weird Godzilla fight. And then she explodes. Right. And you're like, was the spear to distract me? And the witch?
She also puts up a wall, and Hamura's like, we could all run away.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's Hamura's plan. It's like, they're all going to run away.
She gives her the line that Hamura gave, what's her face?
Originally.
Kyoko, originally, yeah. You can't carry her and run, or you can't carry her and fight, you're going to kill us both.
Yeah,
she says it more so
sure
in like
Hamura's plan was to grab her and just run away.
Yeah, but, I mean, she says it. She says it in more of like I wouldn't say more of a jest, it's more of like in a snarky tone. Because
my thing is just pick her up and all three of you guys run away and then put her down safe, then go fight the monster bitch. You don't got to suicide bomb yourself.
Well, see, that's where, like, I made fun of the suicide bombing thing, but I think that, I think what Anthony was also trying to say is that Kyoko had no intention of leaving that fight alive. Because she even sits there and she's like, "Oh, you're alone. Like, I'm alone too. So how about I do something to make sure that you and I won't be alone anymore?"
Yep.
And everybody knows that magical girls, they start out happy and then they suffer in despair until everybody hates them and they have no one left and no one remembers them. So she's just following her magical girl story arc.
Yep, she was. Kyoko is in like the same amount of episodes as Mami, and I think a true tell to this series, they're memorable. Like you sit there and you go like, Mami's in fucking 3 episodes, and yet she's constantly brought up. Like, you remember her and the characters remember her, and like the same thing with Kyoko, and you're kind of like, these characters are main characters, but they don't last the series.
Yeah. Sometimes somebody dies and then it seems like people just forget about it a little bit.
Yeah. I won't say that it's the same level of attachment, but, you definitely have some attachment to both of these, both of the characters, both Mami and, God, I cannot, we talked about her.
Kyoko?
What the hell is her name? Kyoko. Thank you.
Reminds me of Akame ga Kill a little bit.
Well, yeah, where Akame ga Kill will kill off a character, and then they kind like, one of my complaints is like in Akame ga Kill is Bullet. One of the characters is like remembered, like he goes out pretty early and he's remembered throughout the whole series, but then like towards the end, like they start losing characters left and right and no one's talking about them anymore. And so you're kind of just
it does have that anime does have a very rushed ending.
Yeah,
too.
It's very quick.
It's like very well paced, and then it's like 0 to fucking 60. That anime.
It's someone goes, so, man, I'm really happy we got 50 episodes. We have 24. What?
Yeah, exactly. He jumped out of his fucking seat.
Sir, the deadline is tomorrow. The deadline's tomorrow.
So we get into the next episode, episode 10. And Anthony, this is where I argue with you and say this is the best episode of the series.
Is this the flashback episode?
Yes, and possibly
this is the best episode of the series.
And possibly one of the best anime episodes of any anime I've ever watched.
Best anime episode.
So we start out with Hamura wearing glasses with her hair in braids. Yeah. And she's introducing herself at school, and you go, what is happening here?
Yeah. At first I went, they're introducing a new girl now? This late in the series?
Yep.
I was like, what? And I was like, oh, no. There's a flashback episode. And I was like, classic anime to put a flashback episode 2 episodes away from the finale. Yep. But this time, which is rare.
They do it fucking right.
It was very successful.
They
Very
do it
successful.
fucking right.
Usually it's trash, horrible garbage.
Yep,
This time, it was very successful.
Like a flashback about a supporting character that we've only seen once and don't really care about. No, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want from a flashback episode.
It tells the narrative. It explains Hamura's character great. It's fantastic. It's so good. Like,
if this wasn't in it, I would have loved it as like an OVA or something. Like, I would have felt like it would be missing a piece. If I watched this whole anime and it didn't have this part in it, I feel like my review would include, I really would have loved to see the multiple rotations that she went through. You know, I would have loved to see that. Maybe in an OVA or something. Like, I would have brought it up. But they do include it, and it's awesome.
It's great. Exceptional. We have Hamura, like, so Hamura goes through the first timeline. And the first timeline is Mami and Madoka are magical girl partners. And they are rocking the magical girl lifestyle. It's all fast cars, money, and blow. and then they fight the giant. They fight Peter Hausen at the end, and Mami dies.
Yeah.
And that, like, again, that first part is like the series. You're like, oh my god, sadness.
That's when doesn't she come back too? Like, that's when they bring her music back, Mommy's.
Yeah, they bring back Mommy's music.
What's her name's walking on the bridge, and then she's in a labyrinth, and you're like, oh fuck, I was thinking that she's gonna have to make a contract to save herself. I was like, oh shit, he's gonna pop up and convince her to make a contract to save herself from this labyrinth, but then Mommy saved her, and I was like, oh fuck, okay, all right, okay.
Like, Mami and Madoka show up, and you're like, oh shit, magical girl duo. And they like I said, Mami ends up dying, and then Madoka ends up killing Peter Hausen by herself, but also dies. And then Kyobe shows up. Kyobe's like, hey, want to make a contract with me? It's like, what's your...
You asked this a lot.
You want a cake? It's like, no! Quit pushing the cake!
I want to be able to turn back time.
I want to be...
That seems a
first
little
time where
overpowered.
Kyobe goes, ooh, that's a good one.
Fuck. It's like some of the girls...
And that's the first time that I go, as a viewer, I go, it is a good one. Why is that one of the only good ones? And I'm like, wait a second. Didn't earlier he say we've been doing this since the beginning of time?
Yeah.
And this is one of the first really good ones?
He's like,
you tell me none of those other people were like, immortality.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. What happens if I wish for immortality? This gigantic fucking witch is like, I'm gonna bite your head off.
Well, I think
why didn't that work?
I think you'd be immortal all the way until you gave into depression and then turned into a witch.
Because these wishes don't have much of a monkey's paw. Like,
yeah, they don't. There's
yes, they do. Yes, they do. You take on so much pain and depression that you turn into a witch. That's the fucking monkey paw.
And they fuck over your wish.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I wish I can turn back time. It's like, okay. But every time you turn back time, you die
get a
little.
On your forehead. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you turn back to, like, you know, or like, she's like, I wish my friend's hands were fixed, but then his legs are fucking broken. Something like that.
Yeah.
A monkey's paw.
I was expecting that. Expecting
a monkey's paw, you know?
Yeah,
he's blind. He's deaf
now.
He's blind and deaf. His hands work, but now he's blind and deaf. Stuff like that. There's not much of those. She's like, I want to turn back time. He's like, you got it, babe.
It's like, go for it. Turn back some time. We'll see what happens. We're in for a ride. Let's do it. What I think is kind of crazy is like these aliens created this like ability to grant like these crazy wishes, and they're just like they're in for it too. They're like, all right, fuck, let's see what happens.
That's gonna be fucking crazy.
Let's go where this goes. Let's see where this goes.
So she turns back time, and we get the second run through of the timeline, and I love happy Hamura because she shows up, she's just so excited to be there, and she goes, Miss Kaname, we're like, I'm a magical girl too now, and like Madoka's just like, what are you doing?
I'm like, hey, it's me. She's like, ah.
She's like, who are you? And then she beats up the trash can with a golf club.
It cuts and they're like, I don't know, she's really weird. She's acting like she already knows us.
So
all I'm saying is, why was there never a witch that was just unkillable? Because that person wished for immortality.
Because then another wishes would be to kill that guy, that lady.
I wish I could kill the immortal one.
Just a big amount of wishes hitting each other. I wish that girl can't.
Kill the immortal one.
Why you guys?
Yeah.
What? I wish I could.
I wish I could.
No, me.
Cubo's like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Like, yeah,
kill them all.
Give me all these wishes, bitch. I like that. I like that Hamura starts how to make bombs. Looks up how to make bombs.
It's like how to make bombs.
She steals her guns from the freaking Yakuza.
Yeah, she's got the guns. She's like pulling out shotguns and shit.
Aren't they like, can you find something that's a little more destructive? And then she does bombs, and they're like, okay, bombs are a little much. Maybe something less than bombs. And she's like, okay, I'll look. And she steals her weapons from the Yakuza.
She's like, all right.
She's got like a bag of holding, too, in her like shield.
Thing. Yeah. So she can just constantly whip out different weapons and stuff. Okay, so here's a scene. Here's a scene that instantly, like, Mommy's my favorite character in this series, and this is why. So, Sayaka gets corrupted, turns into a witch in this timeline, and they kill Kyoko, Mommy, and Madoka are a team at this point. Kill Sayaka, and they're sitting there because Hamura's already warned them that they turn into witches. Mm-hmm. Because Hamura had a timeline where Madoka turned into a witch. And so she's like, oh, we get turned into witches, no one believes her. Sayaka then turns into a witch. They kill Sayaka. And they're sitting there and like, oh my god, this is the life this is what happens to us.
And Mommy freaks out, yeah.
And then Mommy fucking shoots Kyoko, but ties up Hamura, gets ready to shoot Hamura. She's like, if we're witches, like, we kill witches. If we turn into witches, we gotta kill ourselves.
That's our fucking job! Okay!
And then Madoka shoots her in a gem, and she dies. Mm-hmm. So, at a convention, someone asked the writer that Mommy seems pretty put together and everything. Why'd she go crazy? Why was she the one who went crazy? And he goes, what do you mean? The guy goes, well, she went crazy and started killing her friends. He goes, you're telling me that Mommy went crazy? Yeah, she just decided to tie up the close combat specialist. But she shot the close combat specialist, tied up the person who could stop time, and left Madoka, the only person who she trusted more than anyone else there, like, left? You're telling me that's a crazy person? And I'm like,
crazy people could be brilliant strategists.
Like, motherfucker, Mommy's fucking super brilliant.
Right? I know a couple of crazy people who are also brilliant strategists.
I would also argue that this is the first time that she's imparted with all of the knowledge that she was previously withheld. You know, she just now finds out all about the information about the soul, her soul gem, and about how it corrupts you and turns you into a witch. Yeah, I'd argue that I'd do the same thing.
Is that Mommy's a lot older than everyone else, and then there's
3 years older.
Age. There's a specific age where they become magical girls. So I think that she's also like really put together and like good at killing witches and being happy and using the witch's little thingies to uncorrupt herself, right? She knows the fucking pattern, right? Mm-hmm. I think she's been the magical girl since she was their age. I think she's been doing it for a long, long, long time. And the whole fucking time she didn't know that this type of shit was going to happen. So she's been doing this for a long time, and then they go, oh, by the way, we transform into witches, and it's inevitable. And she's like, oh, fuck, okay.
Yeah, yep.
So this is her job. This is what she knows. She's like, my job is to kill witches. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Magical girl turns into a witch.
It would have been I want to see a timeline where freaking Madoka doesn't shoot her. Like, does she go around hunting magical girls?
Ooh. And witches?
Both of them. She's like, everyone's got to go.
Witch runner. Witch blade witch. 2049.
Yeah, she's crazy. I mean, crazy people can still be strategists. Look at Batman. He dresses up like a bat.
Another thing also explains why Hamura never bothers trying to convince Mommy ever again. She's like, even if I do convince her, she's just going to kill us all. So yeah. I
would love to see her like explaining her way through stuff.
Yeah.
like Madoka, like, why didn't you tell Mommy? Last time I told her she killed everyone. It's like, oh, okay.
But
All
you're
right.
alive? Yeah, because you killed her. Ah. So
fuck, I gotta start over.
during that timeline, Madoka, like since it's just Madoka and Hamura left, they decide that they're gonna fight Peterhausen by themselves and take it out. And they kill it, but man, I know. they decide to fight Biagarden.
Mm-hmm.
Biagarden. Looks a guy, they got
Oktoberfest. They decide to fight it by themselves, and they kill it, but then they both are about to be corrupted. And like Hamura's like, fuck it, let's turn into witches. Let's fuck up this world. I'm tired of it. And Madoka's like, yeah. She goes, kid and psych, you're purified. And Hamura's like,
goes,
why?
She's like, gotcha, bitch. She does.
She makes Hamura promise first that she's like, go back in time and make sure I'm not an idiot and don't make a deal with Kyubey.
She's like, and don't let me become a witch. You gotta shoot me in the soul.
And you gotta shoot my soul. And then that scene's weirdly powerful because she's there, lifts up, we see the muzzle flash, and then it fades to black. Like we don't hear the gunshot, we just see the muzzle flash. Yep. And I was like, that's cool. That's kind of like the opposite of normally how it goes. Like it fades to black and then we hear the gunshot. But this one is like muzzle flash, no gunshot.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hamura wakes up. She goes, all right. Yeah, exactly. She's like, I'm done. She fucked it. This is her eyes with magic. Yep. She goes, game on. And then we see the opening from episode 1.
Yeah.
With that fight.
Other cool shit is like, when she first showed up to school, she fucking nails this math problem like crazy. And then she runs on the track and she's faster than everyone. And in her very beginning timeline when she shows up to school, she can't do the math because she's too afraid. And then she's the slowest person on the track team. Yeah. So it's like, how many times has this bitch been through this?
Yep.
Yeah, it's great. This episode is so good. And I think comes in at a perfect time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is this the episode where they have the conference where Kyubey pulls her in and he starts like going over like why Madoka's so powerful, or is that the next episode?
That's episode 11 where he.
That's episode 11. Yeah.
And let's go into that episode 11, and we just were praising all those different timelines, and we find out that's why Madoka is important.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Hamura has created so many timelines that focus around Madoka that Madoka is the key to so many people's destinies.
Yeah, because it has to do with their karmic potential.
Yep.
That's how powerful a magical girl they can be. So if they're a queen or an empress or something like that. But because Madoka's been Tali black hair, Hamura. Because Madoka's been Hamura's focus over all these timelines, she's been gaining more and more and more karmic potential. And then that makes her extra powerful.
That much more powerful, yeah.
Yep. And so we get that description, and then we get Kyubey putting Madoka through an acid trip, explaining that there's been magical girls throughout time, like even showing a few, like Cleopatra and Joan of Arc were magical girls.
And he's like, "Come on, Madoka, just you, man. That's all I need. All I need is you, and then I have all the energy I ever need. Come on, man."
He said, like before he like disappears, he's like, you'll become the strongest magical girl. And then the most terrifying witch.
Yep.
And then fades away, and you're like, you fuck! I fucking hate you!
Yeah, he starts like talking about the food that she eats and shit like that, and just puts her through the fucking ringer.
Yeah,
it's weird. That one was weird.
I hate him so much. Like, okay, we've said that Madoka is this pure character, like she's nice, blah blah. You kind of root for her constantly. But this motherfucker, when she's like, you're evil, and he's like, I'm evil. He's like, you fucking eat cows. And I'm like, you're a dick.
I did not think that. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, oh fuck, he's got her there.
It's like, think about all these animals you eat. Think about how they feel, and it shows like pigs with like 3 eyes and cow. It was fucking weird.
They all have Kyubey eyes. When he's saying that stuff, he's like, think about these, and they all have like, and he does the images. They all have Kyubey eyes.
I didn't
He's
realize
like, and
that.
we treat you much better than you treat cows.
Yeah.
He's like,
definitely.
my favorite part, he goes, we acknowledge you as like logically thinking beings and get your consent in our deals before we do it. I'm like, oh fuck, he's got her there.
Yeah.
We do not get cows consent.
that too, you gotta love. He goes, we straight up don't make the contract unless someone's consentful.
Yeah.
So you want to make a wish or what?
Yeah.
So now I gave you this spiel about, how you're a horrible person who murders cows. Maybe make a wish, save all the cows.
He was negging her. He read about negging online, and then he's like, I'm gonna try it.
I'm gonna try and neg her this time.
So something that's here is that they find, because Kyoko saved Sayaka's body when she turned into a witch, and so they found Sayaka's body in a hotel room. And there's a line where the mom and the teacher are talking, and the teacher goes, "Yeah, well, we just heard that a ninth grader has also been missing." And I'm like, "Fuck, man! They just now realized that mommy's not been there either."
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like,
Jake, you gotta wait 24 hours before you file a missing persons report. All right.
did they forget after like the fourth day?
Look, she's at a friend's house.
Like, well,
She's always running around. Mommy. Which is a weird name for a child, but okay.
Yeah. That's not confusing.
Yes.
Oh, her
That's not
first words were her
confusing.
name. No, they were mommy. Yeah,
They were
her name. And so Hamura goes to fight. Goes to fight Mein Kampf by herself.
You've been sitting on that for a while.
I'm just trying to throw German all this way.
David Hasselhoff.
And so Hamura fights the witch by herself, and Hamura's fucking pulling out all the stops. She's hitting her with like missiles, hitting her with. She gets knocked into a crater filled with like claymores.
It's like she fucking rises a ship out of the ocean and shoots that shit with her.
Yeah, torpedoes her. It's like fuck, and it doesn't work. Like this witch is that powerful, and it fucks her up. And Madoka and Kyubey show up, and Madoka is like,
Sorry, yeah,
Like-
that was a good line.
"Yeah,
That was a good line.
Madoka has finally decided on her wish."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we get into the finale, and Madoka's wish is to stop witches from happening all the time,
All the
Past,
time.
future, whenever. And Kyubey's like,
Shit.
Yeah. He's like,
"We can grant that wish."
are you trying to become a god? No.
Kilby's like,
Trying to become better than a god.
let me ask my manager.
He was like, "We can do that." Okay.
Yeah.
Hold up, I gotta make a phone call. He's like, any wish? You
yeah,
can't.
yes.
He's like, you guys, any wish, really? You don't know what this chick's wishing for.
Yes,
It's
yes,
crazy.
any wish.
It's
Why
crazy.
the fuck are you calling me?
No, it's crazy. She wants to ruin everything we've ever done.
I don't
That's
care,
her
grant
wish.
the wish. Click.
We said all wishes, especially anything Madoka Kamine wants.
Is it Madoka Covenant? Yes, but she's gonna ruin everything we wanted.
I don't care, grant the wish. Click. Yeah, it was Tracy.
Yeah.
He said,
Right now, he's so desperate to get her a wish. He's like, okay. Let me think. All right. Oh, okay. Maybe I might be able to work with this. I may be able to still fuck you over and get all my energy. All right. Yeah, we'll do it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a big one. You'll be like a god.
this is
it'll
the
be
biggest
crazy.
deal of my life. Biggest deal of my life. Let's do it.
Big deal. It's a big deal. This is a hefty wish. Hefty one. Heftier than the time traveling wish, I think.
He's like, "You and this bitch.
I think I can do it.
You too. Fuck.
I'm gonna take the deal. You got it, Madoka.
You all right? Let's do it." Oh, something I meant to bring up with the last episodes. Kyubey and Madoka have a discussion saying that Hamura is basically stuck in this loop of trying to save Madoka, because as soon as she makes peace that she can't save Madoka, she's going to turn into a witch. So
She's too depressed.
yeah, because she's too depressed, and
She doesn't want to do
Crazy
that.
time traveling witch. That'd be horrible.
that'd
Oh
be
my gosh.
terrifying.
Yeah.
And so so Madoka makes the wish, and then Madoka has a meeting, and this is what I like, is that it's with Kyoko, because Mami and Kyoko never became witches, and they just died. So they like the way I figure that this conversation is happening is in like the afterlife. So she's like because both Mami and Kyoko are saying like this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Later on,
they bring it up. Yeah.
Later on, at the very end, it says when a magical girl becomes filled with corruption, she disappears.
Mm-hmm. And they're forgotten.
She doesn't turn into a witch. They disappear now because they don't turn into witches.
Because they don't turn into witches. So Madoka becomes essentially this entity that appears throughout time, and when a magical girl becomes filled with corruption, she basically calms them down. They dissipate. Mm-hmm. But they do it with
she shatters their gem.
Yeah.
And they like are happy and they disappear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she takes away their pain.
Yeah.
And at one point, Kyubey, because Hamura can exist outside of like time.
She's watching it happen.
Yeah, Kyubey and Hamura go to the end of Madoka's wish. He's like, "Look at that giant ass soul gem! I did it! I'm the best."
He's like, "I got her! I got the energy! What's up, bitch? my wish came true." He's like, "Any wish, I can grant any wish, motherfucker. Any wish, I get my energy. Any wish."
Madoka shows up and she's like,
"What's up?
My wish." My wish is that all witches. That's including me, dummy.
Then she like shoots herself.
Yeah.
And then herself disappears.
Yeah.
And which again is in the fucking opening. The opening hints at so much crap. So she dissipates herself, creating a universe in which she never existed. And so she's just this entity now that
can't interact with people.
Well, she can interact with magical girls as they die, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then there's the part where she talks to blue-haired chick,
Sayaka,
and she's like, "Hey, so I'm a god now. Also, I can't really bring you back. Not part of my wish, but I can make sure that everything's good with this dude." And she's like, "Yeah, everything's good with him. Good thing he finally got to play." And she's like, "All right, well, now that you're not a wish, you're still dead and you disappear forever." And then like it cuts to the girls and she's like, they're all like, "Shit, why did Psycho just disappear?"
Yeah, because a new timeline. Like, new timeline appears right when Sayaka disappears. And they're like, "Oh, Sayaka, you idiot, you sacrificed yourself to kill that wraith." And Hamura's like, "What the fuck's a wraith?" Hamura's like, "What the fuck is happening?" And like, I like that they're a team, like, because there's like they're not competing for like witches anymore. So they like it makes sense that the magical girls can team up.
Mm-hmm.
And Hamura and Kyubey have a nice little conversation on the roof about the other timeline, and how Kyubey's like, "Well, technically," he's like, yeah, that witch technology, that witch plan sounds like it'd make a lot more witches." Except
he'd be like, he's basically like, "That's a great fucking idea."
He's like, "But it's impossible because soul gems don't." He's like, "Soul gems shatter." Because we don't fucking know why.
He's like, "They shatter. We don't know why." He's like, "If we could figure out some way to turn, them into witches, that way it would be like a constant cycle. Man, that would create a lot of energy." Like, he's like, "That would be a great plan." But they just disappear. We don't know why.
They disappear. We don't know why. And so he's more of a magical girl mascot there.
Yeah.
And even Hamura playing around with him, like she's feeding him like the grief little pellets from the wraiths.
Yeah, they get energy by
killing the wraiths.
The chick hunts the wraiths.
A lot of them.
The chicks hunt the wraiths, and then they take the like negative energy pellets or whatever and feed it to the aliens.
Yeah, feed it to them. And Hamura is decked out with Madoka's bow that we saw Madoka use in the other timelines and right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And she has Madoka's ribbon.
Yeah. She has her bow and her bow. Jake.
We also know that people who had really strong connections with Madoka, like, can still kind of remember her.
Yeah, her little brother.
Her little brother and her mom kind of have that connect. Like, they have that.
Her dad's like, "Oh."
Her dad's like,
"What?"
Well, to be fair, that was her dad. Like
I have work
in
to do.
in the original timeline, either. He's like, what? I have a daughter. No, thank you.
Do you want to have? Do you like hot chocolate? Is that a thing that you like?
You and I don't really talk much, Madoka. How are the kids? I don't have any. Well, look at. Well, I mean, how old
Well,
are
I'm
you
gonna
now?
go
There's
get
still
hot
time.
chocolate.
There's still time. Don't talk like that, Madoka. There's still time. So Kyuubi and Hamura jump off the roof, and classic magical girl pose with the mascot on there, and she looks all badass, and then it ends. And that was Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
Ooh,
What a ride!
yes, it was.
Rewatching it, it still holds up to me. Like, I watched this a couple of years ago, and it was one of my favorite anime, and watching it again, it's, if anything, it's up top 3, like, favorite anime. I love this show.
Whoa, that's pretty damn high.
It's
Pretty good.
I love this show. I love every, I love every bit and piece of it. Since it was a good show, we do, anything you guys want to say that you'd fix about it? Because we normally talk about terrible shows, and then we go into this is how you fix it, and then we change the show entirely.
Tournament arc.
Tournament arc, Magical Girl tournament arc.
They animate that fight scene so well that I think they should have realized what they had there and made more Magical Girl v Magical Girl fights.
Okay.
Could have done it in alternate timelines. Who knows how they could have done it, but they nail it really well, and then it never comes back, really.
That's true. The fight choreography is great, and it doesn't happen a lot. But when it does happen, it's pretty freaking awesome to see.
Yeah. I'd say that, showing the animation of, a witch transforming and showing a witch's true form is so chaotic and fitting, though. I mean, like, it definitely fits. So, I mean, I guess, like, you could try out different styles and actually give the witches some sort of, form where they could have animated more so of a one-on-one fight like they did with the Magical Girls, like when, oh gosh, I can't remember any of them.
Like the witches
Redhead
have like a magical girl
Kyoko.
form.
Yeah, Kyoko and Psycho. Thank you. When they fight, like DJ said, it's animated so well. Giving the witches maybe like a magical girl form. But like I said, the animation is so chaotic and so fitting though for the type of power that each witch possesses. In life, they had some certain power, and then it translates over to the same power that they have as a witch, just extrapolated. Like it's huge. It's cool. I like the way that they did that. So, I mean, to DJ's point, I mean, giving them maybe more so of like a magical girl form would have given us that rock hard erection for magical girl fights. So,
yeah, for me, the only thing I'd change, probably because I watched the dub. Who knows? Maybe it's in the sub. But motherfucker, give me subtitles for the German stuff. Like every witch has a German name, and there's no subtitle.
Leichenfelter, and you're like, okay, that's fucking Leichenfelter.
I can barely read the damn thing, let alone pronounce it.
Me either. I had to
pause it. Words? Are those German words? And then it's gone. You're like, well, all right.
Like, that was dog paw seaweed head. That's who that was.
Ich bin ein okay, I'm done. Ich bin Lederhosen. Okay. Every witch is crazy. I really like this show.
Oh yeah.
Is that Ein Volk? Ein Führer?
Ein Führer.
No, it couldn't be. Could be.
Is there anything you guys would like to add on about the show before we go into a non-spoiler review?
Nope. I'm good.
I'm good.
You're good? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end spoilers now. Welcome back to those of you who skipped the spoilers section. After the spoilers, we like to go and give a spoiler-free brief review where we also rate the anime on our rating system.
I'm fucking ready.
We have three ratings. We have trash, where an anime is garbage, it belongs in the trash. There's really no redeeming quality to it. We have recycling bin, where an anime is good, or
AKA tasty morsel.
tasty morsel. Recycling bin, where an anime has some good quality. For us, maybe it's meant for a target audience, but there's some redeeming quality to the show. And then there's a find, where we say that this anime is good and it needs to be put on your plan to watch list. So, DJ, you said you're ready. Let's have you start it off.
I was actually ready to tell them the rating system.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I
thought it was my turn this week to tell them the rating system.
If we're going in turns, it was definitely my turn. But that's okay.
I'm pretty sure Anthony did it last week.
I did not. Jake actually had to correct you for doing it wrong
last week. No, it was not.
I did. I corrected you, but it wasn't as crazy. I was like, it was just a little correction, just a little bit.
I feel like my redemption one was like 3 weeks ago.
Was that? No,
I think so.
No,
I don't remember. I want to do it. I'll redeem myself. I think this anime is good, and it's much better than animes we usually watch. If you like anime, you should watch it. If you don't like anime, you should probably watch something else, because this is an anime, and you don't like those. And that's my review.
What's your rating?
What is it called? What's it called?
My review is called Find.
Find. DJ puts it under a find.
Because I'm assuming if you're listening, you like anime. If you don't like anime, probably don't watch it. Because you don't like anime.
I feel like that's any anime. If you don't like
exactly.
Don't watch it.
But if you do like anime, yeah, you should watch it. It's got girls. It's got magic. It's got anime.
It's got...
What more do you need? It's got Gatomon.
All right. Anthony, you're right.
Oh, yeah. So, I think that what I said earlier, like way earlier, skip all the way back to the beginning and listen to when I said that Jake had originally recommended this show to me when he first started watching it. And, you know, I admittedly, I'm a little upset that I didn't, watch it almost immediately after that. But it was worth the wait, and I will say that this show was extremely captivating. I think that the characters were lovable and enjoyable to watch. I felt like they were characters that were extremely interesting. The concepts were cool, and they kept the interest of the show just on pace. Like it was perfect the entire time. Didn't feel like it was slowing down at any point. And as we said earlier too, I think that it was correctly storyboarded out. It was perfectly timed. Didn't feel like there were any gaps planned from 1 to 12. This anime is one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. This is absolutely a find. I would say that even if you are not into anime, maybe not the first choice to watch, I would recommend another anime first, but definitely, no, absolutely not.
If you hate anime, start with that one.
Which one did he say? I didn't hear him.
Yuri on Ice.
Yuri on Ice.
If you're a homophobic anime hater, start with Yuri on Ice.
No, absolutely not. Do not start with that. Start with something else. But this is absolutely a find for me. Absolutely.
Nice. All right, for me, Anthony is giving me credit here for telling him to watch it, but I got to give credit where credit's due to my buddy Kobe from Anime Ricochet.
Cubes
got me into watching it in the first place. He said, "Hey, you need to watch this show, Puella Magi Madoka Magica," and I said, "Okay," and I put on the first episode, and I said, "No," and I turned it off. 2 years later, Kobe goes, "You need to watch this show," and I went, "Okay." I turned it on, turned it off. The next day, he goes, "Fucking watch the show." And I go, "Okay," turned it on, and then I turned it off after episode 12. I don't think I went to work the next day. I think I just binge-watched that entire show. I just sat there, was captivated. The aesthetics were turning me away at first, and the setup was originally hard for me to get through. but after finishing the show, it's something that really captivated me, and every part is needed. I feel like there is not a wasted moment. The aesthetics play to its advantages. The choreography is amazing. The characters stick with you. To this day, I remember every character's first and last names in the show. And so that's a credit. I'm a guy who remembers like 3 main characters and then calls everyone a fun nickname.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I did not like it as much as these guys did. I liked it, but these guys really fucking liked it.
I liked it so much that I went and I got my first
tattoo
anime figure. No, my first anime figure was a Mami Tomoe Figma figure with the posing and everything. Cause
that's where I'd seen the fucking guns before.
Oh yeah, the guns.
Yes.
As soon as you pulled out those guns, I was like, I've seen that before. It's fucking Jake's figure. Yeah. That's where I've seen that fucking shit before.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I vote next time we get to do a good one. Because Anthony's never seen it.
It's going to be Yuri on Ice?
We watched Yuri on Ice.
No.
Hold on, let me just wrap up really quickly with my review, and then we'll talk about that. And so, just for a show that if you really want to see the show that started this Magical Girl parody, because like Magical Girls were a genre in itself, and then this Magical Girl parody genre took off. I believe this is the show that started it, and I feel like it's a perfect like turning on the head of a genre, and it should definitely be on a plan to watch list if you're a guy who likes anime or a girl who likes anime. So it's a find.
You found it.
So out of curiosity, because we said that every season now we're going to watch a good show. DJ's throwing Yuri on Ice in the ring.
I'm throwing it on the ice ring. Anthony's never seen it, and it might be the best anime ever made. It might be the best one.
Anthony, do you have a suggestion for a good anime for next season?
Oh, Samurai Champloo is way too long.
I would say Gurren Lagann, and it's not one season.
Yeah,
Yuri on Ice is perfect because it's one fucking season.
That's the hard part is trying to find the series that lasts only 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't Samurai Champloo is only 12 episodes?
I don't know. I think it's. I want to say it's 24. If it is only 12, absolutely
Samurai Champloo.
Absolutely, it's Samurai Champloo.
Out of curiosity,
I vote Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, okay. So we'll do a podcast in a year.
Yeah.
Now,
out of curiosity.
Anthony really liked it. DJ said you liked it, but not as much as Anthony and myself. But I said earlier that 2 movies were made adapting this season of Madoka Magica. But you guys know there's a 3rd movie?
Oh, no.
That is a sequel to Madoka Magica called Madoka Magica Rebellion.
Oh, no.
What?
Would you guys be interested in doing a special podcast with a special guest?
Who's the guest?
The guy who got me into watching Madoka Magica.
Cody. The Cobes. The Cobes.
Where we just watch the movie and we review it.
Deal.
Sure, I'll watch the movie.
I'm up for that. I'll watch Madoka Magica Rebellion, and then what? Episode 12?
Episode 12, and our finale of Magical Girl Ore. But first, we got to talk about episodes 10 and 11 of Magical Girl.
Now you motherfuckers talking about how Madoka Magica blow your mind. Can't see shit coming in Madoka Magica. Does Magical Girl Ore have some shit for you?
DJ, since I took away
What writers? Come on.
The parody.
DJ,
the parody was so strong.
Since I took away your chance to do the review, how about you tell us what Magical Girl Ore is about?
It's about this little girl that turns into a big old man.
That's how come I don't let you do things.
Am I wrong? I'm not wrong.
I mean, you're not wrong. Anthony, you want to do it?
I'm sorry. DJ just threw me off. Magical Girl Ore is about these 2 wonderful girls. Well, one wonderful girl. Sayori. Her too. And they turn into magical girls. But as it turns out, it makes more sense for these magical girls in their fragile forms to be turned into magical giant men.
They
who
turn
are
to
also
big, giant buff dudes because that's more apt for fighting.
They don't get...
And they fight the cutest demons on the planet, and they save humanity, just like the girls in Madoka Magica.
All right. Okay, so if you hear spoilers for episodes 10 and 11 of Magical Girl Ore, go ahead and skip ahead to the time on the screen, because we're starting spoilers now. Episode 10 opens up with Saki's mom getting her magic girl powers.
Backstory, we get to find out how Saki's parents met, yeah. She doesn't hold back. I was surprised that she just, like, busts in. She's like, my name is Tanaka-san. What is her first name? Tanaka, right?
Okay.
I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
My mind got too blown on episode 11. I don't even remember episode 10 that well.
Okay, we'll quickly run through episode 11 real quick. Episode 10 real quick. Episode 10 has
Stakeout.
You remember? Yeah, episode 10 even makes fun of it for being very similar to episode 9. Mm-hmm. She's like, "Didn't we do?" Sakio goes, "Didn't we do this last episode?"
Yeah, where they stake him out. It's a stakeout.
We find out. Then they go for a reveal. Front her brother's partner, who we've been thinking is the leader of the demons the entire time. And he basically asks, is he human? He's singing so well, blah, blah. And Saki looks at him and she goes, "Are you human?" And he gets all evil looking and goes, "Now that's a good question." Mm-hmm. And then it cuts away to the manager, just hanging out.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why would it cut to the manager?
Yeah.
This is dumb. Maybe this is just to build tension. Mm-mm.
Nope. Why?
Manager's king of the demons.
Yeah.
Manager's king of the fucking demons.
It's the manager.
And your mind was blown.
The cyborg.
When you found out magical girls turns into witches, your mind was blown. My mind was blown when the manager's king of the demons. I never saw that shit coming. So good. It's so hard to fucking surprise me, and this shit nailed it.
When he fucking walks, he's like, they're being all rowdy again.
Yeah, he's like, stop.
And then he opens up the door and there's demons. I was like,
they're like,
like wrestling around.
Motherfucker. Damn it. We kind of called it by saying that, oh, what if the brother's partner is not like nothing? But he is.
I knew that shit.
Yeah.
I saw that shit coming.
But he isn't nothing.
And just the king of the demons. And he isn't nothing. Double twist.
He is the prince of the fairies.
The prince of the fairies.
Because you know what's funny? Part of me kind of wants to watch the entire series again and see if Kokoro and him have a interaction. Because Kokoro goes, "I've never met this guy before." What are you guys talking about?
He's a prince of the fairies.
Prince of the fairies.
Blow your mind twice.
So episode 11 is called The Final Battle, and it's not. Because there's another episode. So the way the fucking meta humor with this show. The brother gets kidnapped, and this beam starts shooting out of the portal that starts lowering the quality of the show.
It turns everyone into bad quality, so they can speed up to the end.
The thing is, it's so good because I've seen shows that dip in quality like that, where just all of a sudden the background characters look terrible and like the movements like choppy, and they do it so perfectly on purpose. This is the meta humor I like. Fuck that meta humor in like episode 5. This is the meta humor I like. Oh, it was.
And she confronts the manager.
Well, first Sakio and her get separated, and Sakio fights all those demons by throwing pictures of Saki. And it's like, if you step on those pictures, I'll only get more powerful.
Prince of the Fairies.
She confronts the manager, and you gotta roll your jaw back up so it can drop again, because it's a triple fucking bluff, dude. It's a triple bluff. He's king of the demons. He's kidnapping her buddy, so he can help her get famous because he's still the good manager guy. What?
Yep.
He's only doing it just.
He's not only king of the demons. He's also the best manager ever.
He is. I will tell you right now, like, fuck, man, we're bringing up Handshakers a lot this podcast. But you know that character in Handshakers, the failing idol character?
Yeah, with the fat fucking fuck.
Every time I constantly just have a soft spot for like failing idols, I guess, because like that I was like that character. I was like, oh, that's sad. In this one, when he walked past the two girls who are just trying to sell their CD, I'm like, oh, take their CD. In real life, I'd walk the fuck away.
Oh yeah.
Be like, hey, check out my mixtape. No.
Yep. How many times has that happened?
I've seen Jake not take mixtapes before.
Yep.
It's happened.
Just go. No, thank you. Have a good day.
He doesn't want it. I've seen people ask him. He doesn't want it.
I want your mixtape. Them? I'd take their mixtape. I feel bad. They set up a stage and everything to sing. Guess I'm spending $5 on a mixtape. Oh my god. We forgot about the best part of episode 10 is when the manager sees that super rare novel thing. The super rare art book. And he's like, oh my god, this is illustrations, this. And he goes, how much for this? And that guy goes, what? You'd have to offer me 1,000,000 yen before I even consider. And he slaps him in the face with like 1,000,000,000 yen. And he goes, what the fuck do you think I have a job for?
What the fuck do you think I have a job for? That's Jake.
Yeah, that's me. It's like, what
at a convention.
It's like, yeah, I go to a convention, I buy shit, and they're like, you like this is like $100-something. Yeah, I have a job, so I can buy this crap. We have the finale next week. You guys have any theories of how this is all going to wrap up?
Yeah.
Fucking... the girls find out about the manager because fucking Cyborg follows his ass home and takes a cheeky selfie with him in the background with all the demons.
I like that Saki initially goes, you're friends with the cyborg? He goes, that's what you get out of it. That's what you get out of it.
That's what you get out of it.
That's what you get out of this? That's what you get out of this.
I think that it's going to be, just as the manager says, one big publicity stunt. They're going to beat the living shit out of him.
He goes, so you must defeat me right now. Exactly now. Do it. And then it cuts away. And
it's like, in 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, we're going on 1. Action!
To be continued.
Yep.
Little
sake charm. That was cute.
I think it's definitely going to wrap up. Like, I don't think it's going to wrap up where it's like, it's going to wrap up this storyline thing, but I think it's going to quickly shoehorn in a like new evil type deal.
New villain.
But it's going to be
just as cute.
But it's going to be addressed. It's going to be they're going to be like, oh well, everything's all wrapped up. It's like, oh, but there's a new type of demon on the loose, and then Saki's going to be like, really, right now? Like, wow, we have a lot of hopes for season 2.
Oh yeah, meta as shit.
I think the whole finale is going to be meta as fuck.
I think so too.
Yeah. Those things sound like how Kyobe should sound.
That's true.
Hey!
Shoving him through the portal.
It's my absolute favorite. I do agree. I think there's going to be a new demon, new villain. I think it's going to be badass. Meta as shit the entire time. And then we're going to get some Prince of the Fairy action. He's actually going to do something instead of just being...
I'm thinking he's going to get punched in the face and die.
Oh, you think so?
That was heavily hinted at this season, this last couple episodes, because Kokoro says it in episode 10. He goes, "Oh, I'm super weak. I'll get punched in the face and die." And then in episode 11, the prince goes, "Well, I can't really do anything. I'm super weak. I'll get punched in the face and die." So I'm like, oh,
and Magical Girl Orway says we should kill him. Yeah. And the other girl's like, we're jumping to that already.
I'm thinking episode 12. He's going to get punched in the face and die.
No! Well, you know.
But then he'll come back to life. Or something.
Ooh! What happens if her brother stays in hell? Prison Break. Magical Girl Prison Break.
Zebra, no.
Fucking prison school Magical Girls with the brother, and then there's like teachers, and there's prison.
All right.
We can watch Prison School, Anthony. That's one season.
That is also a 12-episode anime. All right. So, anything else you guys wanted to say about Magical Girl Ore?
It's great.
It's 11. We're 11 episodes in. If you guys are not fucking watching it, I am so disappointed in you.
Binge watch that shit.
Please. God. It's so good.
It's good. It's good.
It's hilarious. It's captivating. It's lighthearted. It's perfect. Perfectly piques your interest. And you get to make funny noises every single time those cute little demons are on screen.
There's never been a cuter villain.
Hey.
Never been a cuter villain in any show I've ever watched.
Except this podcast. All right. So we good to move on?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Thumbs up. Ready to go.
All right. We're going to go ahead and end spoilers now. Welcome back. If you skipped the Magical Girl Ore portion of the podcast, you're missing out if you're doing that, if you're skipping this part.
Please don't.
It is a fun time. So at the end of all this stuff, we like to talk about what we're going to do next podcast. So next podcast is going to be in a week because that's what it's our season finale. Because we're going to wrap up Magical Girl Ore, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about Madoka Magica Rebellion with a special guest, and also
be surprised.
We're going to talk about the lineup for the fall season, summer. No, we're in summer now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
we're in. I've been disoriented. My days have been long. Fall. It's the fall season. We're gonna go.
So animes we're looking forward to towards the fall.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some anime that are coming out in the fall that we're gonna probably screen for our seasonal watch.
Woohoo!
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. There's some good anime coming out in the fall.
Oh yeah.
Spring. Summer. We're in the summer. It's summer. We're in spring season now. We're in spring season now.
Jake,
we're in summer.
Are you okay? Are you feel okay?
I'm so tired. So a lot of good anime. A lot of good anime coming out in the spring. In the summer. Jesus Christ.
We're gonna spring into the summer with some good anime.
We're gonna spring into summer and right into fall and go to sleep for winter because we're big hairy bears.
Anime.
Yeah, so that's we're gonna go ahead and talk about that. Anthony or DJ, whichever one you guys feel like doing it. Where can they find us?
One word at a time. Here we go. You
are
going
to
find
us
on
the
description
of
our
poop.
Damn it, DJ! You had one fucking job.
Yeah, no, you gotta keep going. You ruined the game.
You can find us on our Twitters in the description down below and at the end of the video. We also have a link up there. We have a link going on for our previous podcasts. For our previous couple of podcasts. And if you like what we do here, like this video and subscribe. And feel free to share some videos.
Like you all.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I miss you already. Touch me.